between custom building and spec building because we deal with two completely different builders. One much prefers to sell to the client and have the client pick what they want
Yeah.
from beginning to end. And I have another builder who would rather put a hot poker in his eye than deal with custom building and just build a beautiful spec house and
Yeah.
sell the spec house. So it's so funny. And they're both super
So you
successful
have
at what
two,
they
yeah, you
do,
have two
but they're
different
just
personalities over there.
two completely different personalities and they both work. But you as the buyer have to decide, am I a custom, like am I going to be able to find what I want in something that's already
Yeah.
built, or am I that person that really I'm going to want to pick out every single
Yeah.
piece of the house? And then there are some that are like right in the middle. Like get the spec house up, don't put the finishes in,
Mm-hmm.
find your buyer, let your buyer pick the finishes,
Yeah.
and just understand that, there are things that are probably going to cost a little more money. Tile showers, tile floors,
Yeah.
tile backsplash, granite backsplashes, things like that. Your price is going to go up from that base price.
Yeah.
But it is so funny to deal with these guys completely different. So yeah, we deal with
Do
the
you sometimes
custom.
you're like, oh wait, no, that you're this person.
Just said,
Okay.
I just said to our spec builder who the house is all done and it is spectacular. I'm going to do a plug here
Yeah, we're
since
gonna
we're
plug.
talking.
Yeah.
So 11 Elm Place in Hanson, Kennedy built, fantastic home. It is beautiful. It is completely done. It is move-in ready. Everything is done. It's been cleaned. We're doing open houses there today and tomorrow, 11 to 1 today, 11 to 1 tomorrow,
Mhm.
11 Elm Place in Hanson. So I said to him the other day, I'm like, well, if we get a buyer, we'll just, plan a day where we can sit and chat and he's like, what would we talk about? And I'm
What
like,
would we do?
what would we talk about? I'm like, oh yeah, this house is done.
You're
Wait a
the
minute.
yeah, you're the wrong builder.
Wait a minute. Talking to the wrong person. This house is already built. There's really
Well,
not a
don't
lot
you
to
want to
talk
get
about.
to know each other?
Don't you want to get to know each other? And he's like,
No.
no, no.
I built the house. I've
built
done
the
my
house.
job.
Here it
Now
is.
it's your turn.
There's a 1-year warranty on the house. I'm happy to cover whatever needs to be covered. He's like, we are very, proactive on that. So not a problem. But no,
Yeah.
I get that now because the house is already, there's nothing to talk about. Like
Yeah.
it, it's a absolutely gorgeous home. It's got as I the drop zone.
You can't. You have no service. The drop
No,
zone.
that'd be a
Yeah.
So no, a mudroom, and it's a beautiful mudroom tile floor. It's got a bench. It's got the cubbies. It has the pantry with the microwave in
Yeah.
there. Half bath, beautiful wall that you could put a bench or hooks on. This is the ultimate drop zone where people stays out a couple of weeks ago before he graded it out, and I was like, it does look like a nuclear bomb blew up.
Really?
Yeah, because there was so much dirt from
Yeah.
all the excavating going on.
Where does it go?
And
They
they
take it
graded
away?
it out. Yeah, they take it away, grade it in, bring the grade up. I mean, when you looked at it, they definitely brought the grade up on the house. So we went back last weekend. I'm like, oh my God, what a difference. It's like it's all seated
Yeah.
out back and the sprinklers are going in. It is flat, like you could put a pool out
Oh,
back.
good.
It's beautiful. So it's amazing what a difference a week makes
Wow.
between beginning to end. So yeah.
And it's
beautiful home.
complete.
Ready to go.
Ready to
Super
go.
done. Yep. And he's already got the next house all framed in, ready to go on the other side of it. And then there's another one going up on the hill behind it. So
Okay.
really, and neither of these two houses are that close. So it's not like they're like right in your face while they're doing the construction, but these guys are very neat as a pin. Every time we went into the construction site, I can always judge a builder and their construction site by the amount of stuff that's left laying around.
Yeah.
There
No
was
coffee cups.
That was
no
my first
nothing.
thing with not one Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup.
Oh
There
my
was not one napkin. There was never anything was clean. Every time Jim and I
Energy
would
drink
drop in,
can.
yeah,
Nothing.
Celsius, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah. Celsius, that
Cigarettes.
could be a high noon.
Oh yeah, could be a high noon.
Did you see
Yeah.
the woman on TikTok? She's like,
It's like,
please
be a high noon.
Please be a high noon.
Please
She's
be
like,
a high
Celsius.
going into work. That's so funny.
So,
I don't drink any energy drinks, but I thought it was funny.
I don't drink them. I think it would be bad for me to drink an energy.
Well, that's why I think I'd have a heart attack.
I do too. I think I'd be wiggy. I'd be like, oh my God. Like
I mean, I
bouncing out
could
of my
drink
skin.
three cups of coffee a day if I wanted to, but an energy drink, I feel like, ooh.
Oh no. Yeah. My sister, we went to it. We're going to digress here. Well,
Okay, here we go.
Went to a shower down in Georgia, and I went with my sister-in-law Trisha, and she's a big coffee person. So she's like, "I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to get us a venti." And I'm like, "I have no idea what that means, but fine, I'll have it. I just want it black. I just drink my coffee black."
Yeah.
So I drink the venti all the way through. All of a sudden, I'm like, I feel like a squirrel.
Bing.
I feel like a squirrel. I feel like my eyes are bulging out of my
Yeah.
head, and I can't. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of coffee for you. And I'm like, I am losing my. I could not
Yeah.
pull it together. Like I was like, okay, I gotta really calm down here.
Gotta calm
I
down.
gotta calm down here. And she just started laughing at me. She's like, yeah, you are definitely not a venti drinker. And I'm like, no, clearly not. A small Dunkin' Donuts black coffee is all I really need. Or my
Except
latte.
today,
I have my iced
I
latte.
asked you if that's what you still drink.
No.
Here you are with all this milk.
Iced latte is what I drink ice, cold.
Oh, okay.
But black coffee, just black.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have a black coffee
Oh,
tonight. It's
God, you are
8:30 in
out
the
of
morning.
whack today.
It's the wedding planning.
It's the wedding planning.
It's getting to me.
It is getting to me.
Okay, so yeah, the new construction. So the difference between a custom,
yep.
semi-custom. I can't talk today.
Semi-custom would be
Spec
partially
pre-built
done.
home.
Yeah, partially done, but leaving the finishes
Yeah.
for the so they feel like they're getting custom
Well-
home, but they're further along because from first shovel in the ground to being able to move in can somewheres be between 6 and 7 months. So if you get a spec house and you're just picking out finishes, you're probably closer to like, all right, I'm looking at it today. I could be in within 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, our show is called From Blueprint to Move In.
There we go. I love that.
There you go.
That's a good.
I came up with that.
That's a good. We usually say after the kitchen goes in, because that's usually the last thing that goes in is the kitchen, because you don't want anybody banging into the cabinets and nicking them or doing anything. So the custom cabinetry is usually the last thing that goes in.
Yeah.
And then they do a final. They'll do once on the floor, put the kitchen in, and then do the final on the floor after the appliances go in, so that the appliances aren't dinging up the floor too. But we usually say from the day the kitchen goes in, 30 days after, you're probably getting in to your house. So it's usually a good judge of timing.
Well, the thing is with different types of new construction, you also have to have vision.
You really have to have.
You have to have vision, whether you're the buyer or the builder, because we've seen some houses that the builder has chosen some things, and you're like, we can tell that you weren't going to live here.
Yes, exactly. Or sometimes if you're not a cook, like you look at a kitchen, you're like, oh, whoever built this kitchen is definitely not cooking on a daily basis. Like it's just out of whack. It's just like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
Or it could be the opposite, where like it's like state of the art, everything, and you're like, oh,
that's intimidating.
I can't boil water.
That's intimidating. I'll have to get a chef.
Yeah,
we have to hire.
I have a crock pot.
Where do I plug my crock pot?
Where do I plug my crock
and
pot?
My panini maker.
Yeah, a panini maker. Do you have one?
I do have a panini maker.
And you have a new kitchen. So
I do have a new kitchen, and I have a new kitchen in hopes that it'll help sell the house a year from now.
A year from now.
Yep.
All right, we're not talking about that anymore.
Yeah, we're not talking about that yet. So,
what about like different sizes lots and like areas and everything? So I know each town, you used to work at the building department here in Pembroke. What are some sort of regulations that people have to keep in mind when either purchasing a lot of land or thinking about building on a land? What are some things that they have to, like any setbacks or anything that they have
there are
keep in mind?
Tons of setbacks, and every town has different setbacks. So let's use Pembroke just because I know those numbers right off the top of my head. If you are buying in a open lot, an empty lot, you have to have 150 feet of frontage on the road. You have to be 20 feet from the side on either side, 25 from the rear. And then you have septic setbacks, 10 feet from the tank, 20 feet from the leaching field. So an engineer is going to design that whole layout first. And this is the biggie. You have to have a radius of 150 feet circle in the upland area of the property that the house has to fit within. So you need an engineer, because I can't even read a ruler. I can say that, but I have absolutely no idea how to measure that out. So an engineer would design the lot for you to determine whether it was a buildable lot or not. So a lot of people are like, well, I want to buy a piece of land. I'm like, well, you really need to talk to an engineer first, or the person you're buying the land from has already spent the money to show you that it is a buildable lot. So a lot of people will come into the town hall and be like, my grandmother left me this piece of land and it's buildable. Like, okay, have had an engineer out.
Well, your grandmother told you that.
Exactly. My grandmother said it's a buildable lot, so we've been holding on to it because we're going to sell it and make some money on it. It's like, okay. And then you look at it, and it has no access to the street. And you're like, well, I hate to break your heart, but you have no frontage. You have no frontage on a street. You can't, you might be able to get a driveway,
Yeah.
but retreat lots are not really looked upon well anymore. I mean, if it exists, so there's a lot to it. It's, it's not as easy as like my
Yeah.
grandmother left me a piece of land that now I can sell, and you're like, no, you need to
Mm,
talk to an engineer
yeah.
and make sure that it is actually a buildable lot. And then there's something that's called a non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming lot. If somebody had a small house, and let's say it's a not a 30,000, not a 40,000 square foot lot. It's a 10,000 square foot lot, but it already has a house and a septic system on it. But you want to rip the house down, you are entitled to take that house down and build something else on that lot. So don't always, if you're looking at a small lot, you can build on it because it's
Yeah.
pre-existing non-conforming. You're not creating a new lot. It's already a lot. But the minute you take that house down, the clock starts ticking and you have 2 years to rebuild on that property. So don't be taking your house down
Oh, why is that?
because they want it to go back to, like, if you have 2 years to change it, after that it loses its non-conformity.
Oh.
So be careful with that. And every town has different times. Like I'm saying, it's 2 years. We had somebody come into the Hanover building department or into the planning office the other day, and they said, house came down 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, you can't rebuild. It's in the industrial district. It was a residential lot, and it did conform at the time. It was pre-existing non-conforming, but now you
It's
took the
been
house
10
down
years.
10 years ago. And they're like, so that's too long? I said, let's just say I'm wrong at 2 years. This has been down for 10. I said,
Even if it was
lost
5.
its non-conformity.
Yeah.
I said, you'd have to ask permission from the town. And my guess is they're going to say no, because it's now in the industrial district.
Oh.
So it's hard to, but you never know. It's a 50-50 shot. So you'd have to go in
You can
before
always
the board.
ask.
You can always ask. You have a filing fee, but then you're spending money. So now you're spending money to file an application. It's got to
Mhm.
go in the newspaper for
Mhm.
2 weeks. All the neighbors come, you're opening yourself up to, a discussion. So you have to be careful on that
Oh
too.
gosh.
So there's a lot to it, but never, if there's a house on a lot, like sometimes we just had a house in Hanover that we had on the market at
Mhm.
449. It needs a new septic system. It has an oil tank in the ground. It has an oil tank outside. It had some downsides to it, but the house was solid house. Definitely needs some renovation. It was not a tear down, and the person that's buying it's going to tear it. There's going to remodel it, fix everything that's on it. So sometimes you can get a good price for that type of a house if
Yeah.
you're that investor type, or you're a handy person, or it's not something you need to move into right away.
Yeah.
So there are some deals to be had out there.
Or even I had this discussion with one of our agents recently. They were a little concerned about, the price or anything, but the price was great for the town. So anybody looking to get into that town,
Yep.
they were going to jump on that opportunity.
Yep.
So, they're like I say all the time, there's a bum for every seat. There's
Yep.
a buyer for every
There is.
house.
There is a buyer for
There
every
is a buyer
house.
for every house.
Yeah. The other part of that, though, is you have to be a little careful. There are some very clever mortgage companies out
Yeah.
there now that have, because before it used to be cash only. That
Mhm.
type of a situation when you need a septic plan, because most mortgage companies require you to have a passing Title V
Yeah.
in hand in order to get a mortgage.
Was it you
So-
that I just had that discussion with the other day?
Yes, we
Yeah.
were talking because
So,
I
yeah.
didn't think that there were that many
Mhm.
products out there that can do that, but there are a few that are out there. It's changed. It is changing. It used
It
to
is
be
changing.
a line in the sand, cash only,
No, yeah.
without a septic.
I ran into this when I was purchasing, because at one point everything that was coming on the market in my price range was they need buyer responsible for septic, buyer responsible for septic. And so I had gone to Jasmine and I'm like, what do I do? Do I look in a different avenue? She's like, wait a minute, like there's some programs that like you can purchase a house that where you would be responsible for that, So that's how I realized. And it's interesting because I never even asked the question. I just was like, oh, now I have to be homeless, even though I wasn't. But she's like, no, there are programs.
There
Like
are
we can, like
programs.
if you qualify, we can move forward with those.
Yep.
So
Or money sits in an escrow
Yeah.
account. That's another opportunity to take the money for the septic plan. It sits in an escrow account, so then it gets so that the money is allocated that will go to replace the septic
Yeah.
system. So that works too. So
Yeah.
there are opportunities to do it, but I just didn't realize there were that many out there, which is good to know.
Good.
But as far as buying a piece of land is not always as easy as it seems. Usually, when you have a subdivision, the builder or it's already done, so
Mhm.
you know what you're buying. You get the plot
I
plan,
like that idea.
and it shows all the different lots, and it tells you how big each one is and where the
Mhm.
house is going to sit on the lot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And even if you're going into a new construction development and there's more than one home, sometimes there are lots where they have, okay, you can do XYZ style home.
Correct.
So a couple different styles can go on that lot. Okay, well, that lot only you can do this style home. And unfortunately for those buyers who want to live in a one level ranch, there's not a lot of those
Ooh,
being built.
nope.
So we're looking for resales of those.
Yeah, we're looking for those ranches. Those one levels are
Yeah. Can
very
you talk a little bit about why builders aren't building one level ranches right now?
one level ranches cost way more money to build than a colonial.
And you wouldn't
I
think.
know, because you go into these colonial basements and you think they're huge, but that's where the money starts to go down, down the drain right
Yeah.
away, is when these builders are pouring their foundations. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're building a colonial, you're in a kind of a box situation, and it's a lot of concrete, but it's a smaller box. Now you take a ranch
Mm-hmm.
and you want a full basement in your ranch, you are logging all of that concrete. It is twice the amount of concrete before you even start to go
Yeah.
up in frame. So that's why builders don't like to build
More
ranches
roof.
on more
Yeah.
roof,
Yeah.
more product, more everything. Even though you look at these colonials and they are huge, but
Mm-hmm.
they're going up over
Yeah.
a smaller box than a concrete
And you
rectangle, if you will.
need a wider lot
Yep.
too, so you might need more land
Yep.
in order to put. So, it's unfortunate for those buyers out there that want one level living in construction. The options are limited.
And
There
it's
are
going to cost you.
still one offs that are, but it will cost you.
It's gonna. We just did that one. Kristen Howlett
Mm-hmm.
had sold us the land. So originally we had looked at a piece of land in Hanson. She did end up building in Hanson, but a different lot before we got
Mm-hmm.
Kristen's lot. So we looked at the lot and we tried to put the ranch that our client wanted to build on that property, and it did not work without the neighbor giving up some of their property. And it looked like a plenty big enough lot, but it didn't
Yeah.
work. So we had to give up that lot, and it did work on the one that Kristen had. And
Good.
she built the most beautiful one level ranch. She has
Mm-hmm.
mobility issues, so it was the perfect house for her, and it's beautiful, and it sits back
Yeah.
behind. Yeah, it's lovely.
That's awesome.
So I mean, ranches are great. Actually, I showed 11 Elm Place the other day, and the woman came in and absolutely loved it. And she's like, "So what about the other lot?" She's like, "My husband really wants a one level, or at least the primary suite on the first level."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, yeah, you could absolutely, he could build you that on another lot if you're interested in doing that." But her husband was adamant, like, we already have a primary on the first level, but it's condo. And they're not enjoying their condo living, so they think they want to go back to single family living. And so they're the perfect person that would want a primary bedroom on the first floor or a ranch style home.
Yeah.
So, but builders don't like to build them on spec because it's a lot of money. Yeah, if you don't
it's not
get
cost effective for them.
no. But if you are the buyer that does want a ranch, I mean, builders will build them. They have no problem with building them. You just need to be prepared that it's going to
pay
cost.
for it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
going to cost you. It's going to cost a little more money.
It's going to cost a little bit more
It's going
money.
to cost a little more money.
I would think that cost could be a challenge. So I talk a little bit about challenges that come up during building. So it could be the cost or even timeline.
Yeah.
And when we talk about timeline, we talk about also if you have a home to sell. So a lot of the times with new construction, there is a home to sell because it's usually
Yep.
not your first home.
Correct.
So and that's just really based on the price point.
Yep.
There are not a lot of first time home buyers out there that have a budget, that high.
Yep, that's
So
high because right now new construction homes are,
yeah,
they're up there.
they're up there.
They're up
So, if you're purchasing new construction, chances are you probably have something to sell in order to purchase it. Let's talk a little bit about timeline there.
Our build, I will say, builders are normal, especially if you're building custom. So we usually deal with K&G development, and over the years, he's probably built, I don't even know, 800. Let's say he's got to be pushing 1,000 homes on the South Shore over the years that he's built, past 40 years. He has always he always takes the contingency. If somebody has a home to sell, he's like, I've never been burnt, because it's a timeline that starts like, it's going to take you 6 to 7 months to build the home. I'm thinking that you are going to sell your house in a timely manner. In an important, between 6 and 7 months, you have plenty of time to sell your home. So you just need to time it right. So how, as you start getting closer, to, when the framing is done. So, foundation gets poured, then the framing gets done, and then then the plumbing and the electrical goes in. So there are stages and there are inspections along the way. When you start getting into that finish work, that's when you really need to start thinking about getting your house on the market. And again, like I always say, 30 days from when the kitchen goes in is pretty much 30 to 45 days after the kitchen goes in. So you really should have been on the market prior to
Well,
that.
I was just going to say, if you are trying to time the closings around the same time, chances are it probably won't happen on the
Probably not,
same
because
day.
new construction is a moving target. You cannot control appliances. You cannot control the kitchen coming in. During COVID, that was the worst part.
Yeah.
Everybody was out. Everybody was buying. Everybody wanted to build new. Got it. But everything was on delay. Back order kitchens, we weren't coming in. They were giving us 6 to 8 week deliveries and then still not showing up at 8 weeks. It was a nightmare. Much better now.
Much better now.
Much better now. But things can go on back order. And then, God forbid, we were talking yesterday about replacing a D box. And I said, yeah, the problem is I would get it done now while you can, because you never know. We could have a wet season and then you can't get a shovel in the ground because it's so wet and you can't replace it. And now your time is ticking out because you have a buyer for your house and you want to move forward and you can't.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to just get it done now as opposed to waiting because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's also so many different factors that go into putting your house on the market. So making sure that it's priced correctly according to the condition it's in and where the market is at that time. Because you could put your house on the market, overprice it, and it sits there and your house is still being built. Like, that process doesn't stop.
No. So now you're looking at your house that's sitting there doing nothing, and your other house is getting built. The closing date is moving closer and closer, and you're like, the scale is tipping the wrong way.
Yeah. So, making sure that you're smart about that too.
Yeah.
And
it's always nice to find a buyer that isn't looking for a certain target date either, that you can work with and be like, we're not in any hurry. Like, we're
sellers
renting.
purchasing new construction. Are you flexible with closing date? Those types of things.
Yeah.
But then it becomes a domino. So,
then,
if that person has something to sell in order to purchase your home and then you're purchasing new construction, it could become a domino, a hat trick. And we all know how that can happen.
The hat tricks are always the worst. But there's always that like I always say to people, like our clients that we're working with right now, they are still going to move they put an offer in on a property that they didn't get. But now that kind of got the ball rolling for them. So they're like, we are ready to put our house on the market. Like, good for you. So we're going to sell your house. You're coming into the winter season. Winter rentals are everywhere. So it gives you that nice opportunity to sell your big house that you have now, which will then determine the money that you get. Then you can decide, what do I want to do? I don't want to make a big decision right now. I don't want to go buy a house. I'd like to rent for a little while. Our neighbors that we sold their house, exactly what they're doing. They're renting for a period of time till they find what they want. So I think these guys are going to do the same thing. They're going to put their house on the market. Then they'll have taken that big, huge amount of money that they're going to get. That's your last, when you're selling your last big house, you need that money to decide, okay, now I know what I have. Do I want to go to Florida? Do I want to go to North Carolina? Do I want a small house up here and a small house down there, or Nashville? So it does. A lot of people are doing that right now and not trying to get into something else right away. And again, the fall winter market here in Massachusetts for rentals are great because everybody has beach houses. I'd like to live on the beach for the winter and then decide.
You would?
Yeah, I'd do that for 3-6 months and then decide, okay, now I know where I want to go and what I want to do, and I'm on the beach and I'm going to Nashville.
I know. If you sell your house sort of in the beginning, middle stages of building a new house, just make sure that you have somewhere to go.
Correct.
There are also options of, maybe you do a lease back, maybe you do, things like this. So
month to months. And there are month to months out there now.
Yeah.
For a long time, there were no month to months. Like, you had to sign a lease for a rental for a year.
Yeah.
But now there are month to months out there, which you can get. I mean, they're pricey, but it gives you some place to hang your hat for a couple of months until your house is done.
Yeah. Or move in with family.
Which is always a joy.
It's always a joy.
It's always a joy and a pleasure.
Thanks for stopping by.
I serve at the pleasure of my in-laws.
So there's so many different options when you are doing that sort of domino effect. But
But think ahead. I
think ahead.
think
You
ahead.
got
I
to
think
plan.
sometimes people don't think ahead. It just sounds like a great idea, and then all of a sudden you're over your head before you even get started. Like, oh, well, what am I going to do about this? Where am I going to go?
And
Where
it
am I going
could
to
be
put my stuff?
stressful, but once it's over, it's so worth it.
Oh,
I mean, you live in a home where you really don't have to worry about things for a while, as long as you maintain them, take care of the mechanicals and everything,
Yeah.
but
New construction
you won't really
wins
need to
every
replace
time.
anything for a
Yeah,
while.
new construction wins every time. Even when you watch the, you know, what's the house show? Find My House show.
House Hunters?
House Hunters. That's it. Find My House.
I don't Find My House. I'm
Oh,
like,
I just came up with a new show.
Yeah.
Find My House.
it's like when you're looking for your phone or like you're looking for your watch and you're like, find my watch.
Find my
on your-
watch. Find me
Find
a
my
house.
phone.
Find my house. And they'll show you 3 houses. It is almost a 99.9%. Like Jim will always like, new construction. They're going to buy the new construction
Yeah.
every single time. Or a blank lot of land and they're going to build their own house. He's like, nope, they'll buy the land.
I heard that they already own whatever it is that they choose.
Yeah.
And they just make a show out of it.
Yep. So they already know. So like Jim's like, all right.
It's deceiving.
He always looks, he's like, oh, look, they already got paint on, like paint tape on the wall. And he's like,
somebody already
already
purchased that.
bought that. Yeah, somebody's already bought that.
He's
Probably
walking around like he owns the place. So he probably does.
Yeah, when they start describing things in the house, you're like, yeah, they already own it. They know what they're doing.
You see all those memes that are like, oh, when they have house hunters and they're like, oh, my husband is a butterfly catcher and I'm a whatever and our budget is $5 million. There's like all these memes about like house hunters. It's like, how do these people make money?
Yeah, what do people do
What
for
do
a
these
living?
people do?
So what's your
It's all fake.
What's your baseline? $5 million. Those are my favorite ones though, because at least you get to see $5 million homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And $5 million looks different in every part of the country.
Oh my goodness, it sure
does. It sure does. Sometimes, when my friends talk about, I went to college in Florida, so some of my friends still live there, and they're like, "Oh, I bought my house for X amount of dollars." I'm like, "What? That would be a bajillion dollars up here."
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. You live on a gated community golf course.
For
4
the same
bedroom,
amount of
3
money.
bath with a pool.
Yeah,
for $400,000. Like,
it's so
that's
true.
so
though.
lovely.
Oh, it is so true. Well, even when we were in Nashville last time, we went, we did a little house hunting with Taylor and Duran, and we went to the split level ranch, and it was lovely. I mean, our idea is to buy something that hasn't been done soup to nuts. I don't want to go into a house and be like, yeah, it's a nice kitchen. I like it. I don't love it. It's not what I would put in, but it's new, and now I don't want to rip it out.
Yeah.
I'd rather have something with an old kitchen that I can rip out and put my own footprint.
Yeah.
$415,000 for the home. I said, what are the taxes? And she said, $2,300. And I said, a month? And she's like, no, a year. And I'm like,
what?
Like, what?
We'll take 2 of them.
I'll just take 2.
We'll take them. We could live next to each other.
We could actually have our own houses and put Duran and Taylor out back and still not reach what we're paying for taxes in the town of Hanover. So yeah, it's like it just becomes so unaffordable at some point.
Yeah.
That when you don't have the kids, like for the years where we had the kids and the dogs and whatever,
it made sense to live where you're at.
It made so much sense. But now that it's just Jim and I, it's just really
it's too big.
It's too big. It's too big and it's too much money. I mean, it's lovely and I love it. And it has a new deck and we have a pool and I'm so happy. However, it's a lot of money for 2 people that we can go to Nashville and, find something that's way more affordable.
Yeah.
And be close to our daughter. So,
yeah.
So that's
all right. That's the plan. So we have 1 year left with Tracy on the show.
Yeah, but I can still call in.
Yeah. I'm calling in from Nashville.
I'm calling in from Nashville to give us the update on the Nashville market.
You guys are going to be opening up a Boston Connect in Nashville. So there you go.
Yep. Nashville Connect.
Nashville Connect.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
we're having coming soon.
Hanging our shingle down in Nashville.
Yeah. We have less than 10 minutes left. I want to give you another opportunity to highlight your listing and your open houses this weekend. We'll go over some of the other open houses and then we'll do our final thoughts. So.
Fantastic. So Jim and I will be at 11 Elm Place today from 11 to 1. And we will be there tomorrow from 11 to 1 as well. Beautiful new construction, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage, 1-year warranty. It's got a nice deck on the back. So many custom things inside that we were talking before about building on spec and building custom. I walked through this house the other day. I'm like, this is like being in a custom home without having had to pick everything out. And there are people out there who don't like to pick things out.
Yeah.
Like they struggle to pick out colors and everything else. Sometimes you just walk into like a house like this and you're like, I love everything about it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to pick at because he did a really nice job. One of the closets has a window, and I'm like, I would put my makeup table right in front of that window, and so I have all
Wow.
that natural light, and
Yeah.
then shut the door. And there's a nice eyebrow window over one of the other bathrooms. It's really lovely home. So come see us, 11 Elm Place, today and tomorrow. You can reach me at 617-620-8484, or you can call Jim at 617-842-4019.
What is an eyebrow window?
It's like a little transom window, but the shower stall goes up, and then the transom window is like above it, so you get
Oh.
natural light coming into the shower.
Okay.
So it goes
I'll
to
have to look
outside.
at, is it in one of your pictures? I'll have to look in one of your
Yes.
pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Never heard of that before.
And you don't see it unless you're actually looking for it. But I went in and I was like, I love the window over the tub. Like it's not at eye level.
Yeah.
It's above the tub, so it just lets that natural light come in. So
Interesting.
lots of natural light in the house. So yeah,
Oh.
it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I learned something new today.
Yep. Plenty of room for a pool in the backyard. Lots of land behind, nice and flat. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lovely. On a little tiny side street too, little 11 Elm Place. It's off of State Street. So it's like you're in this little tiny little cul-de-sac neighborhood.
Nice.
Cute.
Yeah,
So
sounds
yay.
great. And yeah, and I love the pictures. You saw the pictures.
Yeah.
So again, that's 11 Elm Place in Hanson. The Grady team will be there today and tomorrow from 11 to 1. I don't know if you gave the price.
Oh, I did not. And that's the other part. Well under today's start. It's well under $1 million. It's $899.9.
Yeah.
New construction, all done, ready
All
to go.
done.
Move in.
Ready to move in.
Yep, not 900, not $1 million, $899.9. It is super. I judge people always like, yeah, because that's affordable. But in this market, in new construction, $899.9 is a really good price.
Yeah.
Right now. So, and it's all done, ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready for you.
Ready for you.
Ready for you. We do have a couple other open houses. Of course, Sharon and Mary have Cushing Trails in Hanson and Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater. They do open houses there every Saturday and Sunday. A little bit of a change for Cochise Estates. So now they're doing from 10 to 12 instead of 2. So 10 to 12 because they added a Wednesday night open house as well. So
I do like those commuter ones.
Yeah, so 10 to 12, both communities, Cushing Trails in Hanson and Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater, if you're looking for new construction as well. Marianne Trask has a brand new listing, 22 Maple Street, Unit 22 in Watertown. She's going to be there today from 10 to 1 and tomorrow 12 to 3. That is on the market for $999. And we also have Sue Bollinger. She has an open house tomorrow, 24 Elizabeth Road in Milford. She's going to be there from 2 to 3:30. That just got a price adjustment to $620.
Oh, right in that sweet spot.
Right in that sweet spot.
That's a sweet spot right there, $620.
Right in the sweet spot. What are some final thoughts? We have a couple minutes left. What do you want people to know about new construction? Why do you love it so much?
Oh,
Why do you love it so much?
I think it's because I worked in the building department.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of, which is not something that I ever thought I would ever do. Again, I am ruler, not ruler friendly. So it's kind of funny. Like I literally half 1 inch, inch and a half, 2 inches. That's it. That's all I know. I can't read it. But I do love to see it go from beginning to end. I love to see a new buyer come in. And I'm telling you, we've had moments, Jim and I were talking the other day about with one of the builders we work at. We go from beginning to end. Our one of our builders just goes directly to the client, so they get a relationship going. So everything is usually done with you get to the closing, and there they are. It's like kumbaya type moment where they're like exchanging gifts with each other, thanking each other, and it becomes a really nice relationship. So you do feel like you're part of that whole right from the beginning where there was just a piece of land, and then you're like, I remember when there was nothing there, and then you go back. The neighborhood we did down in Carver, Yule Street. We were talking to some of the people. I forgot
about that.
Yeah, we were talking about, they said it is probably one of the nicest communities. All the neighbors get along fantastic. They all have little kids. They were saying on the 4th of July, one of the guys bought a ton of fireworks, probably illegal, but whatever. Fireworks, all kids got together. They did fireworks together. It is just, so we go down there every now and again and we talk to the people and they just absolutely love it down there. So we actually had some people that were in a condo, didn't like it, and built a house down there. So they're like an older couple, not elderly, but older couple. And then there's young families and they all get along great.
Oh, I love that.
I just love that whole idea of being there from beginning when there was nothing there to where it is now.
You know why you love it? Because you have vision.
I have vision.
You have vision.
Jim has a lot more vision than I have,
that's
but
what
Jim
makes it enjoyable for the buyers.
Yeah, you can see it.
You have vision.
Because we have vision. You can go in and say, look, you can do this. Like, there's plenty of room for a pool. There's plenty of room for a patio. It's a lovely location. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some new construction coming up in Carver again with Mr. Gosselin. Yes.
Oh.
A couple of lots.
Can you talk about that a little bit or no?
Not quite yet, but we're almost there.
Stay tuned. Tracy will probably be back in a couple of weeks.
I'll be back in a couple of weeks. We got some lots going. So custom new construction. So we got some of that coming up.
See, you are a new construction go-to.
We just, for some reason, we did fall into it at the beginning of when we first started selling real estate. You know, we had the condos. We were the king and queen condos in Pembroke for a couple of years.
You were.
And then we kind of converted over to new construction houses, and it's. And I still remember doing the new construction with Don over in Pembroke, and we had a sawhorse set up in the parking lot before there was anything there. It was just dirt in an old house that had to be ripped down. And we had people waiting to like, okay, show us what the plot looks like. I want that one. And they would slap their hand on it and they're like, I'm buying this one. I'm buying that one. I think we sold 3 in the parking lot on a sawhorse. So sometimes it just works out.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Tracy. I appreciate it. You can go to bostonconnect.com to find all of our contact information and all of our open house information. If you want to listen to any of our past shows, talkrealestateroundtable.com. You can look us up on your podcast app, Talk Real Estate Roundtable. And I'll see you guys next Saturday.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.